Yeah, you know, because it's that's what cooking is about. And most chefs, you know, that are professional chefs, they do it for one thing a lot of times. Well, actually, they enjoy to cook for one thing, but the best reward that a chef can get is when they make food for somebody and they see the person enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know, and that gives you a sense of accomplishment, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And that's why a lot of people do it. You know, a lot of chefs, they want to cook for that specific reason. You know, because they like to please people with their fish or their food that they cook. So I think that's just any chef, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. And then I like to share too. A lot of people will ask me, you know, how do you do that, Leroy? You know, how's that happen? And it's just the way it happens, you know. And I share it all the time. People say, what's your recipe? And I'm not one of those people that says, oh man, I'm not gonna give you my recipe, it's a secret. You know, that's crazy, because that person can probably go online nowadays and see the exact same recipe that I'm making and learn that way. So why not share it?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I say. So I love to share with people, show them different techniques and that kind of thing. Like we were talking about the halibut when I got the bite. You know, when I was showing people, most people won't show you that when we do a flat fish, we don't normally eat local halibut for raw. It's a cook, more of a cook thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can do ceviche with it, but Japanese, we don't. In the sushi bars, we use East Coast fluke. It's a cleaner fish. It's a firmer fish than our local halibut. Has no parasites. Ours do. So those are the things why we use the East Coast halibut or the East Coast fluke rather than the West Coast. So it's nice to show people that, hey, we take that. When I was doing the thing with Edward, I took off the angawa. The angawa is the muscly part of the fish that moves the fins on the sides of the halibut, right? And it's just a muscle. There's no bones in it. So we remove that. And Japanese love it because Japanese like crunchy fish. That's why they eat fugu, the blowfish, the poisonous blowfish. That's the appeal. Not only is the fact that it could kill you, a lot of people get a rush from that, you know, if it's done improperly, but they like that meat and it's cut really paper thin and it's real crunchy and chewy. And that's what they like. Japanese like when it comes to whitefish, they like that crunchy, chewy kind of a texture. Yeah. So they like raw squid. It's crunchy and chewy at the same time. Octopus, same thing, you know. So they like that kind of thing. So I wanted to make sure that I could show people that, you know, this is how you take off the angawa. You know, people can talk about it all day long, but you ain't gonna know about it until you actually see it or see somebody do it or have somebody explain it to you, right? It's, you know, we can tell you, oh, don't forget the muscle meat on the side of the halibut. It's really good. And then people that never done it before, they're gonna say, what is that? I don't know what the muscle meat is. So that's why it's cool to show people. And that's what I like doing. And that's why Edward says, I think you should start a channel. Yeah. You know, let's talk about it. You know, sure, it would be busy, especially if I go back to work. You know, eventually I probably will go back to work. I've been on furlough for so long, I'm getting tired of sitting at home. You know, I'm doing all the laundry and stuff, and because my wife's working, so I'm like a stay-at-home mom, sort of, right now. Yeah. I do laundry, I do dishes, I do sweeping, mopping, cleaning bathrooms, I do all that stuff, and I do Monica's laundry, get all their stuff ready for work. So I don't mind because I'm not working. Yeah. She is. So, but yeah, I like to do that kind of stuff. I like to share, especially with cooking. That's my happy place, cooking. You know, I love to cook. I love to see people's reaction when they bite into that thing I created, and they're like, "Oh, damn, that's good." Yeah. You know, it just gives me a good feeling. Yeah. You know, I think a lot of other people are like that too. Yeah. You know, when you invite people over for a barbecue, you want them people to say, "Man, what'd you do to this chicken?" Yeah. You know, what'd you do to this chicken, Martin? Did you make love to it before you cooked it? You know? Maybe. Because it is good. You know? And that's what excites me. I like that. I like that feeling. And I like when people enjoy it. Yeah. That's why being a sushi chef is really neat, because you get to see immediate reaction. You know, it's not a customer that's sitting on the other side of the restaurant 25 feet away. They're at the bar. You know, because all my restaurants had a sushi bar.
Yeah.
And they're sitting right in front of you, and you serve it. They eat it right away, and you're like, wow. And you see the reaction right away. You know, good or bad, you see the reaction. And yeah, I'm not one of those people that take things personal. Being a chef, you can't. You can't be personal about it. You have to take the good with the bad. So somebody tells you, oh, Leroy, that's terrible. You know, you have to say, okay, well, maybe that's not for you. I prepared it the right way. But some people don't like uni, sea urchin.
Yeah.
You know, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it. So the first time they try it, they're like, oh my God, what's wrong with this? And it's nothing wrong with it. It's just you don't like it.
Yeah.
You know, so, but you see that reaction. You kind of explain it to them. I used to make a sauce that had grated radish in it, daikon radish. And if anybody knows about daikon radish or any kind of radish, it's pretty pungent. It smells pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got a real strong smell to it. And I used to make a sauce with that, and I would put it on my oysters and my mussels. And first time this one guy came in and says, Leroy, you got any oysters on the half shell? Oh yeah, I got lots of oysters on the half shell. He said, do them up. I want you to do them the way that you do them in your restaurant. Okay. So I did them, and I put that sauce on there, and the first thing he did, he got up to his nose and he go, oh man, that oyster's bad. I mean, no, it's not. I said, it's perfectly fine oyster. He says, but it smells so strong, like it smells like it's bad. And I said, no, that's the radish in my sauce. You know, and they're like, oh, and then they try, oh my God, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just the smell, you know, at first, because of the radish. It's pretty strong.
Yeah.
You know, but you get those reactions a lot, and you know, I don't mind them. It's part of being a cook.
Yeah.
You know, some people are really radical, like crazy about it, and you know, you send a steak back because it's not cooked the way you like it, and the chef gets all upset, like he's offended.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know how to cook, that type mentality. Well, I don't do that.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I mean, you know, I can't say it more to so many people. We try to, me and Monica and all the guys, we try to, you know, educate as many people. You know, it's really cool when we see parents get their kids out, you know, first time fishing.
Or get their dads, moms
yeah,
out.
moms, they take your kids out fishing and stuff like that, because, you know, I was a kid, my dad used to take me fishing all the time. That's where I got my bug from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't teach them, it's fine. Sometimes you take your kids out and they don't like it.
Yeah.
At least you know.
Yeah.
They're not the kind that want to catch fish and stuff, but I mean, it's such a great thing. You're getting a bite. I think you're getting a bite. Yeah, is that a bite or is that the wind?
It's right here.
Anyways, yeah, that's what I got. I mean, I like to see families out. We've seen so many families out catching fish on base, and you know, lobstering when lobster season's open, and we've met a lot of kids and found out that they're YouTubers. They actually do their own filming at the age of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
You know, and their dads help them edit and all that, and I've met a lot of people like that so far. So that's the really cool thing.
Yeah.
I think you get out and teach your people as much of your kids and your family members. Get out and do some fishing every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, it's really cool to catch your own fish and cook it.
Mm-hmm. It
You know,
tastes better than it tastes better.
Yeah, it tastes so much better than the stuff you get in the store, because
You
I
don't
can
know
tell you.
Yeah, you don't know how long those things been sitting there too.
Well, and that's the sad thing. A lot of those fish have been frozen more than once,
Mm-hmm.
because when they come from the hatcheries, like catfish. Say you were going to go to the store and buy some catfish. Well, these grocery stores, they buy so much at a time. They buy hundreds of pounds of catfish, right?
Yeah.
And they don't come fresh. They're to the point where they're almost frozen, right? And then they get processed in whatever grocery store's processing company does, or if they do their own processing, they get processed, and then they freeze them again for shipment. That's 2 times they've been frozen. That's why when you go to the grocery store, a lot of times and you see fish in there, especially like a good example is salmon. Salmon is supposed to be bright orange color, you know, it's supposed to be really nice, and the white little veins, or not the veins, but you know, the kind of fat in there, you can see the white lines in there. It's supposed to be so crisp and clear, you know. And a lot of times you go to the grocery store and their fish looks like it's been
Faded.
sitting, yeah, it's faded, or it's an off color, you know, because that fish has most likely been frozen twice. Once whole as a fish for shipment, and then next time after they gets processed, it gets frozen to be shipped out to all these different grocery stores, and then they thaw it out and put it in their case for you.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know if you've seen all the guys catching salmon on the YouTube, like Edward and all them, and Daniel. You know, when you fillet those things, they're so orange and a red color. They're so nice. You never see that in a grocery store ever.
I heard that some like places they'll dye the meat that way.
Well,
is that true?
Well,
or is that not
Canada
false?
and Alaska, they farm raise the Atlantic salmon. Okay, farm raised salmon up in Canada and Alaska, and it's a lot of the sushi bars use it. A lot of the restaurants use it. That's their go-to fish.
Yeah.
Especially when they can't get wild caught fish, they go to farm fish.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning by when they dye it, like the farming. Like some places
so they do.
farm.
Yeah, they actually have to dye. They put dye in the pellets of the feed because the salmon in the wild, they eat krill, and krill is what gives them their orange color. Okay, if they're not in the wild and they're not eating krill, they don't get orange. They turn white like a trout. Their meat is white. So what they do is they introduce dye, I believe, in their pellets in the feed, and that's what gives them their orange color. Now, if you go to the other side of the world, like I go to Scotland, that's where I get my salmon for sushi. Granted, it's still a farm-raised fish, but they don't necessarily have to dye the meat. You know, certain hatcheries don't dye it. They feed it natural food products to give it that orange color naturally. You know, it's granted they're farm-raised, but yet they feed it the natural kind of food that they eat in the wild to give it that color naturally.
Yeah.
They don't give them dyes. They don't introduce dyes to them. So that's why I use the Scottish type of salmon that comes from the other part of the world when it comes to sushi, because I think it's a better quality fish. And then you have these people that farm raise too much and they put too many fish in a pen, and they get a disease called Kadoa, which I've experienced many times from the Atlantic salmon. That's why I switched. And it's a type of disease where the fish starts to break down in its meat from the inside out. So I don't want to be gross or anything, but when you cut the fish open, you find these little pockets of kind of mushy holes in the meat, and that's actually what they call Kadoa, and it's a disease they get from too many fish in the same pen. And they actually start breaking down from the inside of their bodies. They're still alive, but they're starting to break down, and when we get the product, it's so bad. Yeah, you can't serve it. You know, so that's why I switched. But that's the things about the dye and all that kind of stuff. I don't like the dye. You know, I like to use as much real tuna, and that's another thing. If you use saku block, which is the frozen kind of tuna that you can find, I'm not saying the tuna steaks like you can get at Costco or those kind of things. I'm talking about there's a type of preserved tuna that you can buy, and it's actually dyed, and that's what a lot of the sushi bars use today. They don't tell you that. They just say it's fresh tuna, but it's really not fresh tuna. It comes dyed, and it's a cold smoking process that preserves it. It doesn't taste like cooked fish or smoked fish. It's just the process they do. And then it looks like a red piece of tuna, but it is totally flavorless. It doesn't, because real fresh tuna has a flavor, believe it or not. And this stuff doesn't. It looks nice, but it doesn't really have a flavor at all.
Yeah.
And that's what most all the sushi bars are using nowadays. There's still a few good ones that don't. Those are the kinds of ones I go to. You know, I don't like to go eat the saku tuna. You know, but you go to a lot of these poke places, and that's what they serve too. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what it's turned into, because we've overfished our oceans. Unfortunately, and those big bluefin tuna, the really big monsters, you don't come by them anymore because of overfishing. So this is an alternative. You can take a mediocre tuna, dye it, make it look really nice, preserve it, vacuum pack it, freeze it, and sell it at a really reduced rate. And it's appealing to a lot of these new sushi bars that are opening, because they don't have to cut the fish down and block it out themselves from a fresh loin of tuna. They don't have to. It comes frozen on little blocks already. All you got to do is defrost it, and they're in business, you know. And they're, like I said, if you're a connoisseur of sushi, you try it for the first time, you know it's not real tuna. It is real tuna, but I mean, you know, it doesn't have a flavor, that kind of thing. And that's what a lot of places do. They use those now, and that's a dyed product as well. Yeah. I like to stay away from it. That's why it's hard for those kind of restaurants to stay afloat now, because, you know, we're paying $18, $19, $20 a pound for fresh tuna, yellowfin, And sometimes bluefin, if we can get it, that's going to be like $20, maybe $23 a pound, our cost. But that's with the waste, the dark meat, the skin. We have to cut all that and throw it away. So once you cut all that and throw it away, you're now talking about something that costs $25 a pound or $30 a pound, our cost. Because once we cut all that stuff off, that was weighed and we paid for that. But now that when you cut it off and throw it away, the cost of what's left goes up, right? So it's hard for those guys to stay afloat when you're paying $25 a pound for really good quality tuna, and the guy down the street is using these saku blocks that are frozen dyed fish for $8 a pound.
Yeah.
See? And people don't know the difference. They'll go, oh, this guy's a lot cheaper, we'll go to him. Because they look at price, not quality. I'm not saying everybody does, but a lot of people do. They say, oh, this guy's much cheaper, you know? Well, yeah, because he's using inferior fish. That's why it's hard for the guy who uses all that fresh fish. It's hard for him now.
Yeah.
It's hard for it to stay afloat. The full service, that's why I will never do a full service restaurant again. It'll be like to go out the door, that's it for me. Because then I don't have to pay a wait staff and all these different people to run a full service restaurant, you know, and you're not making the money. It's too hard, to compete against the guys who want to use the cheap stuff. So that's another thing. And Japan has tried to actually grade certain sushi bars, you know, on the quality of fish they use, to the point where, like, it happened a long time ago with the wine, champagne. You can't, these companies that are in California and all these different states cannot call champagne champagne. They have to call it sparkling wine, because champagne comes from a place in Champagne, I think it's Champagne, France is the name of, that's where champagne was invented, right? They're the only ones that can call it champagne. You have to call it sparkling wine now, because it was some kind of big battle in court saying, yeah, you guys can't call it champagne, that's our stuff. So now, if you notice, nothing is called champagne anymore. It's called sparkling wine here, that's made in the United States. I think that's how it is. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So the Japanese, the sushi people in Japan were trying to do the same thing here in the United States by saying that you can't really call yourself a sushi bar because you're not using the best quality fish, you know. And they wanted to put a grade. They wanted the United States to grade each of these restaurants on that system of what kind of fish are you using. Okay, you get a B grade, or you get a C grade, or you don't get a grade at all because we don't know what you're doing, you know. And it never happened, but that's what they wanted to do, because the Japanese guys in Japan were like, dude, you guys are calling that sushi, that's not sushi. So it's a tough battle out there now. I'm glad I've done my time. You know, as a restaurant guy for 30 years. And it's just time for me to take a break.
Yeah.
You know, kind of ease off into the sunset, retire, kind of enjoy the life, go fishing with my buddies all the time.
Fishing with the boys.
Yeah, you know, go and do new adventures, meet new people. Because almost every time I've been out with you guys, you know, whether it be Edward, whether it be you or Mario, we meet people that know you guys from your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many times it's happened. We were fishing that one time, and that time Mario caught that 9.5 pound trout off the bank over there.
Yeah.
Some guy came up and said, you're Mario, right? MastaBlasta. He said, yeah. He says, I watch you all the time, you know, and he's furious fishing right next to us. So we got to meet a cool guy, and you know, he's just out there fishing just like us. Yeah. You know, so that's always the neat part.
Yeah. It's, you know, it's a cool thing, you know, getting to meet.
Yeah, we met people that know you, so that know Martin Mansera, Fishing with Mansera. Oh yeah, we watch him all the time, you know. I've ran into Costco, people yelling my name, Papa Leroy. I'm like, what? Who the heck knows me at Costco? You know, we saw you on the Edwards Hook to Cook the other day. Man, you killed it. You know, stuff like that. And I'm like, wow.
It's awesome. You know, it's you know, I always think about the thing that Edward always says is that your best friends are out there. You just haven't met them yet.
That's right. Everybody is a new best friend. You just haven't met them yet. Yeah. Exactly. That's the potential.
I think I've met more people through just fishing than at pretty much anything, really. Oh yeah. All together. Yeah,
I meet a lot of people in the restaurant business because, you know, I'm there. You meet a lot of people. But people always ask me when I have my restaurants, Leroy, what do you do? Who are your friends? You know, because we just see you behind the bar every day. You know, and I'm like, well, he says, I said a good way to tell who my friends are is when you see me not at work and you see me with people. Those are my friends. Yeah, those are the people I want to be around when I'm not at work. Those are my friends. That's a good way to tell who my friends are, and most likely it's going to be when I'm fishing. You know. And they're like, oh, okay. And they're like, how do we become one of us? And all you got to do is call me up one day and say, hey, let's go do something. Let's go to a sushi bar and eat together. And we can all have a good time, you know? Those are the people that I like to be around.
It could be like anything that you're passionate about. Not, you know, for us it's fishing. You know, it could be golfing or racing or biking or whatever it may be. Just you got to find the thing that you're really passionate about, and you just got to follow it, and you know that's how you'll meet your best friends.
That's it. You know, give it an honest try. Go out. If you love to fish, you know, call up some of these guys and follow them on their channel. Like you know, Martin Fishing with Mansera. Check it out. Check his channel out. You know, send him a text one day. Hey, I'm in the area, man. Are you fishing today? Yeah, I was planning out going. Hey, can I join you? Yeah, come on down. I don't know how many times you've done that. In your channel, you've always said, oh, somebody that called me up is joining me today. You know, when you're fishing Oso Flaco or something like that. You know, or Oceano, you've had guys that just texted you. You never met them before.
I never met on Instagram or Facebook. Or
and it's like they just shot you a text or they shot you an email from the channel. And they watched you on the, hey, you know, we're going to be in the area. Can we fish with you? We have something like that coming up at the end of the month.
Because who knows, they might be
what's her name? Mimi
Fish.
Mimi Fish.
And Richard.
Yeah. And I guess it's her dad, Richard. They want to come down and fish with us maybe towards the end of the month, which is great. Hopefully we can get them out on base, and it's going to be a really huge minus tide. And maybe we can get out and do some poke pulling, you know, and bring her out too. And put her on some good fish, and maybe some good cabezon, some good eels, or maybe a lingcod, maybe even.
That'd be cool.
You know, we always catch nice grassies, so.
And
that'll be a new experience for her if she's never poke pulled. I don't know. I haven't watched her channel much. My wife has, and I think Edward knows her as well. I know you watched her. So it'll be interesting to meet her. She's an up and coming. I guess she does YouTube a lot on her own already. So I can't say she's an up and coming. She's already doing it. You know. So that's really cool. You know, she's inspired. She got inspired by somebody to start making her own. She's following her passion, which is fishing, which is cool.
And she gets to do it with her dad, which is cool.
And she's with her family.
She's family.
She's doing it like that. That's cool. Dad is, you know, supportive. And like I said, my dad was supportive of me and anything I wanted to do. Football, whatever it was. He was always behind me. I think that's important. I don't know if a lot of parents do that for the kids anymore, but that needs to come back. Yeah. Because I mean, you know, my dad taught me everything I know about fishing, hunting, and all that kind of stuff. You know.
And it's like something that you know, you're not gonna be perfect at. Like you're not gonna. There's always something to learn.
Yeah, definitely. Like no matter, you never learn enough.
Yeah, you don't never learn enough.
Exactly. Well, I've been doing sushi for professionally for over 30 years now, and I learn new things about sushi that I never knew by watching other people. You know, Taku, he's a great example. You know, he hasn't been making sushi as long as I have, but you know what? He's in a different environment. You know, I think he's from Okinawa. His mom and dad are from Okinawa, so you know, their sushi is a little different. Their cooking styles are different over there. I was stationed in Okinawa for 3 years, so I know. But I learned stuff from him, watching him. You know, you're never too old to learn anything new. You know, always keep it to that point where, you know, you can if you have an open mind and you're not all about yourself, you can learn all kinds of new stuff. And that's the way I look at it. You know, I learned a lot of stuff from the chef at the Ritz-Carlton. You know, I was there working in their 5 Diamond Steakhouse, and Chef Alex is his name, and he's an amazing chef, and I learned a lot of stuff from him that I never knew that I could do it that way, but yet he taught me. He's not a sushi chef. It's just the ways he's been doing things for a long time, and a different technique cuts a little bit of prep time out of it, you know. And if anybody knows cooking, especially for a restaurant, prep time is is everything, you know, because you have to prep everything before you open for your dinner service. Everything's got to be ready. If it isn't ready, you don't have time in the middle of dinner to get it ready. It's impossible. So, and if you stop doing what you need to be doing in a dinner service, then your customers are going to be upset because it's going to take them a while to get their food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I mean, you know, I keep an open mind.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah. Your best friends are out there. You just haven't met them yet.
You got to find them. You'll find them.
Yeah. You know, I like fishing with, you know, the people that watch. Yeah. And you know, meeting new people, and I always like to fish with somebody. It's funner. Like, you know, fishing by yourself, it's okay. It's okay, but it's like it's funner to do it with somebody else.
Yeah, because you're sharing. Yeah, you're sharing the moment. And you're cutting up. You're making jokes. You're laughing. Yeah. You know, you laugh about silly stuff like, oh, look at Leroy lost that fish. You know, and you know it's funny, but you know it hurts. Like, I was fishing 2 days ago with salmon fishing with my friend Daniel. He has his own channel called the High Tide. That's the name of his boat. Yeah. And we hooked into a really nice salmon. He swears it was over 20 pounds. And I fought it to the side of the boat perfect. Everything went perfect. And he went and swiped for it with the net. It saw the net, it dove down, and when it dove down, it popped the hook. Yeah. It was gone. Yeah. You know, and that was a 20-pound salmon, you know. And, you know, he was all upset about it, and I was like, what are you upset about? It's just one that got away. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You know? We'll catch another one, and we caught some more that day. Yeah. So, nothing that big, but we caught some more, so. Yeah. You know, that's what fishing, that's why I like it so much, because you're not guaranteed just because you get a bite. Well, look at how many times I got a bite today. Yeah, and I didn't catch anything. That's the part of it, the anticipation and all that kind of stuff mixed in. You know, it gives you when you get that bite, you get that little bit of adrenaline rush. Yeah. You know, granted, sometimes you don't catch them or you lose them. You know, that sucks, but yeah, it's part of fishing. That's why we like it. If we caught fish every time we threw our line in the water, it wouldn't be fun. Yeah. And we wouldn't do it anymore. Yeah. We'd be like, oh, okay, I'll go to the lake, catch a few fish, and come back for dinner. Okay, don't ask me to do that, but once a month. Yeah. You know? Not me. I could go fishing every day if I had to. Yeah. Yeah. And then when you get that big one, that big one, you start hooting and hollering like a 13-year-old at a Justin Bieber concert. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be at a Justin Bieber concert. We've been accused of that. Yeah, but yeah, it's the part of it. That's the appeal of it. You know, if me and Monica went out and shot a deer every time we went on the first day we went, it wouldn't be fun anymore. Yeah. You know, we like the stalk, we like the hunting, we like the camaraderie, talking to other hunters, you know, hearing their stories when we're out in the field. Because at the end of the hunting, when the sun goes down and we have to put up our guns and everything, you know, we always run into a hunter that wants to talk to us on the base. And Monica, if you know Monica, she'll talk for hours, man. I have to tell her, Lou, dude, let's go home. You know? But that's Monica. She loves to talk to people about stuff, and I think that's why she's great for the channel as well, because she loves to communicate. Yeah, well, you know, we all have our own, we're all like different personalities. Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, she loves it. But that's what kind of brings us together, is our different personalities. Yeah. We're all goofy in a way. Yes, we are. We like to goof off. We like to mess with each other. Like Edward hitting your damn rods when you have messing with each other. Bite, you know. And was it sharing failed videos, like people getting taken out by waves? Oh or well, I'll be slipping on some tarp, trying to catch some bass with Bob, or calling yourself a Googan. Yeah, calling ourselves Googans. We're all just having a good time, and that's all it's all about. Having good times, fun memories. Get out and catch some fish, bite some buddies. I don't know how many times I've seen a bunch of guys on a boat, on pontoon boats, all hooping and hollering. Yeah. You know, they just got together. They'll probably all work together. They're just friends. Yeah. And they come out for a day on the lake and fish. You know. Yeah. They don't catch nothing, but they had a great time. Yeah. You know. You know, but you know, another thing is crazy. That's crazy about you know, us is like. In a way, I don't know if you've noticed, like all our lives have like kind of been around each other, but just haven't connected until this fishing thing. Yeah, exactly. What was it? Because
you used to work at the Chew Mash. My wife did. I think she knows you from the Chew Mash.
Right.
Also, Bruce.
Bob, or Bruce. Yeah. And I've seen Bruce before, and you know, I seen him at work because we have our little cafe downstairs where all the employees get to eat. You know, employee dining, what we call it.
Yeah.
And I'd see him down there, and then one episode I saw where you guys gave him a rod for his birthday. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was his birthday, and you guys all gave him a brand new fishing rod and a reel to go surf fishing. And I was like, I was looking with me and Monica were looking at it, and I said, I know that guy. He works at the Chew Mash.
Well, I wasn't there.
Yeah. Anyways, I saw it on YouTube where they gave him that thing, and I was like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
I know him. I've seen him at the Chew Mash, and I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And then finally, I saw him one day, and I went in the EDR, and I went up to him and I said, hey, your name Bruce? And he goes, yeah. I said, my name's Leroy. Nice to meet you. I said, I've been going fishing with Edward for, you know, a couple of weeks now. And they were like, oh, you're Leroy. Oh, okay, you work here? I said, you saw that I had a chef coat on. I said, oh, you're one of the chefs? I said, yeah, I'm the sushi guy. And then we were buddies ever since, you know. It's like I saw him through the channel.
Yeah. It's crazy, you know, you guys at the
we worked
at
the same place.
My wife worked at the Chew Mash with you guys. Me and Mario at one point worked next to each other, but never really ran into each other. My wife knows Edward, knew Edward and Edward. In a way, Edward's wife, we're family by marriage in a way. I don't remember how that whole thing went, but
so you're related to Veronica somehow?
Through like someone in our family that's marriage. But anyways, we're in a way like all our lives were like wrapped around, but just never connected until this. Yeah, which is crazy.
And the first time we saw Edward, Monica had been watching Hook to Cook for a while, because I wasn't really into YouTube at that time. You know, I was working, and Monica said one day, "Watch this guy. He's a Honda car salesman in Santa Maria. And he's got a channel. It's called Hook to Cook. Just watch him. He fishes locally." So I watched him. I was learning. I had just learned at that time. I had just learned about Lucky Craft. You know, throwing the stick baits for perch. I just learned. Monica said, this is the brand you should get, and so I went out and got some and started fishing when I started catching perch with them. I was like, no way, because I used to use the gulp sandworm and dig my own sand crabs and all that. And then through YouTube, Monica said, try one of these things. So I went and got one, tried it, started catching perch with it. Yeah. Anyway, so she says, watch this guy Edward. So we did, and he's fishing out on the base. Yeah. With an Air Force guy, and we're watching, and then all of a sudden the Air Force guy takes him to a spot where he's not supposed to be fishing. Right? And we're like, dude, that guy's in an illegal area, you know. And we didn't know Edward at the time. We didn't know him. And so, but we're really good friends with the base game warden out there at Vandenberg. My wife works with his wife at the time, and so we're good friends with him. We say, hey, did you ever watch this guy named Hook to Cook, Edward Tomoloso? And he says, no, I never seen him. You know, and the game warden's a Filipino guy, and I think Edward's, we all know he's Filipino, right? And we're talking to him and said, yeah, he was on South Vandenberg fishing in a restricted area. And he says, really? This is the game warden said this. He said, really? And he said, yeah, you should watch the episode. So he did. He watched it. And he goes, you're right, man. He was fishing on South Side, which is totally illegal for him to fish, right? And I said, we're not trying to get the guy in trouble or anything. We just thought it was pretty cool that this Air Force guy was taking him on base, and you are the game warden. And I said, maybe you should pay a little bit more attention to these areas. And he goes, I think I will, So that's why we did it, to keep people from getting in trouble. And, and the base game warden, he's pretty cool. He would rather give you a warning first couple of times, rather than give you a ticket. That's just the way he is. He's a good-natured guy. And so that's that's my first encounter with Edward, not in person, but on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Then one day we just called him up because, we figured we'd get a hold of him. And we met him for the first time, believe it or not, at work, and met Veronica there, and she was there as well. And we met him for the first time. And it seems like I've known, he gave me a hug. I mean, who gives you a hug when you don't know the guy? He comes up and gives me a big old hug, and I think we were down south buying some you know, Lucky Craft Lures that this guy was selling discount. And that's the first day we met Edward and Veronica, and it was like we've known these guys for 20 years.
Yeah.
The first time I met them.
Yeah.
We talked on the phone once, I think, prior to that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, we clicked, and that's, I think, a lot of these, we all click.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something in us. Yeah.
In one way or another, we all click.
And we all mess with each other. It's like
that's the best part.
You know, we mess with each other, we joke with each other, and it's like, usually you have to know somebody for 2 or 3 years before you start cracking jokes at them.
Yeah.
Oh, we were cracking jokes. We met each other for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how comfortable we were with each other. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, man. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I finally got to meet all you guys.
Yeah.
Because me and Monica are running out of people to go fishing with.
Yeah. I'm really appreciative for, like, you know, meeting all you guys. You know, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. But yeah, thank you for doing this, and you know, we have many memories to come. And,
oh yeah, we'll have a lot of memories, and it'll be documented. Keep on watching Fishing with Mansera. You'll see us a lot on there, and maybe you'll see Monica. Monica will get all her stuff taken care of, her carpal tunnel in her knees, and she'll be back out.
Yeah.
And, we'll get things going again.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
But yeah, thank you. And what was it? This is probably going to get released before the catfishing catch and cook episode. So stay tuned for that. And until next time, keep fishing on.
Yeah, see you out there, guys.
Peace.